NBC4 News at 11 starts with breaking news.
That breaking news, a major update on a story the NBC4 team has been working on all day. Investigators released new details about a woman's remains found dismembered inside a dumpster in Encino. And tonight they are focused on a home in Tarzana where they say a woman in her 40s and her mother and father are all missing. NBC4's Macy Jenkins joins us live from the neighborhood where a news conference just wrapped up. Macy?
Hi, Colleen. Well, there are many moving parts here. We have learned that investigators say 3 people are missing. A woman in her 40s, that's May Haskell, and her parents, 64 and 72 years old. Her husband, May's husband, Sam Haskell, has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Now, we are here on the street outside of the Tarzana home. There are many details, but we know that there is a tow truck that is headed up the street as we speak. There's not a lot of space, so bear with me here. What they found earlier today in Encino was the torso of a woman, but based on the condition of the remains, investigators say they cannot determine an age. Now, police say blood and other evidence of wrongdoing in the Tarzana house at the end of this street is connected to the torso found in Encino. A gruesome discovery in Encino around 6 o'clock Wednesday morning. A man digging through a dumpster looking for recyclables instead found a woman's torso.
When the officers responded, they discovered a dismembered female wrapped in a plastic bag that was just outside the dumpster. They confirmed that it was a human remains.
Police looking for clues about her identity in this parking lot behind a commercial building near Rubio Avenue and Ventura Boulevard.
There are parts missing. However, we don't know who she is at this point based on some of the missing parts, missing limbs.
Today, the NBC4 team found out evidence in Encino led detectives to this home a few miles away in Tarzana, where they believe she may have been murdered.
There was some video evidence that was collected from that scene that led us to this location.
The coroner's office outside for several hours today.
It was very, very shocking. I wouldn't have thought in a million years that would happen here.
Police say at least 7 people lived in the home. Samuel Haskell, his 3 children, his wife May Haskell, her mother Yang-Shi Wang, and her father Go-Shan Lee. Investigators say the children were located at school and are all safe. On Tuesday night, LAPD officers were dispatched to the home after getting a report about a deceased person.
So the radio call November 7th at about 5:30 p.m. Involved a suspicious bag that possibly contained a human remains. When the officers responded, nothing was located. There was no evidence that allowed the officers to make entry into the home.
Now, police say they have not found additional remains in the house. But again, those 3 people missing, May Haskell in her 40s, her parents, her father Go-Shan Lee, and her mother Yang-Shi Wang. Now, the last known car that her father was driving was a white Volkswagen Tiguan. It's usually parked on the street. It is missing. May's husband, Sam Haskell, was arrested on suspicion of murder earlier today, working along with another agency. LAPD says they located him at the Topanga Mall. That is the very latest here in Tarzana. Reporting live tonight, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
All right, Macy, thank you for that. And we have more breaking news tonight. Hollywood's drought is coming to an end. In just 1 hour, production could begin to gear up for the first time in months. It is official. SAG-AFTRA's strike ends at midnight. Our Robert Kovacic joins us live from the All Season Brewing Company. That's in Mid-Wilshire, where apparently there's some celebrating going on tonight. Robert?
It's been going on for some time, Colleen. They don't exactly know the details of what they are celebrating as of yet as the crowd begins to thin out. But according to their union, this is a contract of over $1 billion. To quote here, it is a deal of extraordinary scope. But how about this? NBC4 is finding out tonight that this came down to the wire. SAG voted to end the strike today at 4:30 in the afternoon, apparently just 1/2 hour before the studios gave them a 5 o'clock deadline.
When we fight, we win!
Tonight, a SAG celebration.
They're all very, very happy because we just got a kick-ass deal.
Titanic star Frances Fisher, one of the 17 members on SAG's negotiating committee who voted unanimously on a new contract.
I can't wait for people to read it. I'm not going to say a word about it. I want them to read about all of the gains we made.
Gains trumpeted on social media by SAG President Fran Drescher, who says the $1 billion-plus deal is 3 times the last contract. New ground broken everywhere. The picketing outside of studios is over. Actors can go back on the lot after midnight. But Hollywood's happy ending came after a cliffhanger.
The studio heads essentially said, put up or shut up. If you're serious about getting back to work, take this deal. And if not, then we'll talk to you in January. Enough is enough. We cannot wait around anymore for you guys to decide. The clock is ticking. If we want to get production started so that we could at least salvage the rest of the TV season, we need to start right away.
The final sticking point, according to SAG National Board member Anne-Marie Johnson, artificial intelligence.
If we don't do something about it now, it doesn't matter what happens in 2.5 years, 3 years. The ship has sailed.
The AI protections, who knows if they're going to be effective? We hope they will for the sake of actors, but you know, this stuff is moving so fast. This deal could look quaint and ineffective in a year.
But for now, time to get the cameras rolling once again. So what happens next? Well, before the 160,000 members of SAG-AFTRA can vote on this new contract, it first has to be ratified by the SAG board. And Colleen, I just got a text saying that that meeting is set for Friday morning at 10 a.m. And then the ratification process, assuming that it's approved, will begin. But for now, at 12:01, minutes away, the SAG strike is over. We're live right now where the celebration continues in the Mid-Wilshire District. I'm Robert Kovacik. Colleen, let's go back to you.
All right, Robert, thank you. Busy night with more breaking news. The LAPD took at least 2 misdemeanor battery reports tonight after fights outside the Museum of Tolerance on Pico Boulevard. Police tell us groups had gathered outside while a screening of a documentary about the October 7th Hamas attacks in Israel was playing inside. No word what led to the scuffles. We did see some people standing outside with Israeli flags. Police say so far there have been no arrests. 5 Republican presidential hopefuls faced off tonight in Miami, and this debate was heated really from the very beginning. We saw personal attacks, clashes on foreign policy, and yet a lot of focus on an absent former President Trump. We have team coverage starting with the fiery moments, and there certainly were a lot of them tonight. NBC4's Conan Nolan joins us live from our News Operations Center. Conan.
Colleen, so it was the former UN ambassador, former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, who got most of the, most of the flack from the other candidates. Not a surprise, her numbers have been ticking up, and we saw the split between the what you might call the Ronald Reagan wing of the Republican Party and the Donald Trump wing, at least when it came to the issue of Ukraine.
5 on stage in Miami, seeking the role of primary alternative to the frontrunner, Donald Trump, who skipped the debate, holding a rally 10 miles away.
I think they're at a debate tonight. Nobody's talking about it.
They were talking about him.
He put us $8 trillion in debt.
He should explain why he didn't have Mexico pay for the border wall.
Anybody who's going to be spending the next year and a half of their life focusing on keeping themselves out of jail and courtrooms cannot leave this party or this country.
There was unanimous support for Israel in its war against Hamas. No talk of a ceasefire.
Finish the job once and for all with these butchers, Hamas.
The only thing we should be doing is supporting them and eliminating Hamas.
You cannot negotiate with evil. You have to destroy it.
But there was a split over funding for Ukraine.
We must stand with all of those that are standing up for democracy and freedom in this world.
Here is a freedom-loving, pro-American country that is fighting for its survival and its democracy.
We are not going to send your sons and daughters to Ukraine. I am going to send troops to our southern border.
Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties.
Putin and President Xi are salivating at the thought that someone like that could become president. They would love to see
The fact of the matter is, do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first, or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
Some called for the banning of the China-based social media app TikTok.
TikTok is not only spyware, it is polluting the minds of American young people.
Vivek Ramaswamy had been criticized by Nikki Haley for using TikTok in his campaign.
While her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time, so you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your
voice. Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans.
You're just
the easy answer is
insults and political elbow throwing, with the first vote in Iowa just over 2 months away.
Everybody was opposed to anti-Semitism that we've been seeing on college campuses, with some saying that they would withhold federal money for colleges and universities where the administrators don't keep Jewish students safe. The next debate is December 6th. I'm Conan Nolan, NBC4 News.
All right, Conan, stay with us for just a couple of minutes for more analysis on this debate, but also joining us, as you can see, NBC4 political contributor Dr. Fernando Guerra. Dr. Guerra, thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
We're going to start with you, Nikki Haley. You saw the montage with Conan there. Big target tonight. Why do you think that is?
I think she has momentum. She's been catching up to DeSantis on selected polls, number one. Number two, a lot of the people are at this debate and candidates really for 2028, and she would be a very strong candidate at that time. And then number three, some of the candidates are thinking about the VP position. Of the five, she's the most likely to be considered by Trump, although I don't think he would consider any of these five. But nonetheless, she is a target because she's of that moderate wing, and it's easy for the three very conservative individuals to focus on her.
Conan, let's talk about last night. A good night for Democrats and supporters of abortion rights. They saw victories in several states, including some that voted for President Trump in 2020. What impact did that have on the debate tonight?
Well, I think it was the elephant in the room, so to speak. We had Ron DeSantis at the beginning of the debate saying, "I'm tired of losing." You had Vivek Ramaswamy go after the RNC chairwoman, Ronna McDaniel, saying that she should be booted out of her office. He never mentioned the fact that she was put as head of the RNC by Donald Trump. Didn't talk about that. So, yes, there's some frustration. This last night, you're right, was a bad night for the Republican Party, and Republicans are trying to figure out the abortion question, which we saw a little bit tonight. And again, it was Nikki Haley who said we need to moderate our position, while others were saying they still are pro-life. They are not going to change their opinion on that issue.
All right, now same question for both of you, and that is, will this be the last debate for any of these candidates? Who do you think drops out next? Dr. Guerra.
Oh, I think Chris Christie and Tim Scott. Remember, to qualify for this debate, you had to be 4% in selected polls and have at least 70,000 unique contributors or donors. Next time around, you have to have 6% in selected polls and 80,000 unique contributors. Right now, those two would not make it. And, Vivek Ramaswamy is on the bubble, and he's not been picking up momentum. So it could be just two candidates next time around, and then maybe Trump would consider joining those two. Probably not, but you never know.
That's right, you never know. Conan.
Yeah, I was going to mention there's the donor base also to think about. That's what they're talking, not just to voters, but also to those who finance the campaigns. And I think Tim Scott was probably the big loser today. He was not involved in many of the debates, many of the exchanges. It's hard to see him, the Republican from South Carolina, it's hard to see him going past this.
All right, Conan, Dr. Guerra, as always, thanks so much for your analysis on this. We will continue to cover the debate tomorrow morning on Today in LA, and right now on NBCLA.com. You can actually find a breakdown of some of the highlights on our homepage there. All right, turning now to our first alert weather coverage and another round of Santa Ana winds out there, kicking up this small brush fire. This is in Highland. Crews had this one out rather quickly, but it's the dry conditions that have parts of Southern California under red flag warnings for tomorrow. We have live team coverage on this as well tonight. NBC4's Darcia Phillips with that story. We're going to start right now with meteorologist Melissa McGee, who is tracking some of this wind for us. Melissa.
Yeah, and Colleen, that's the big concern as we go throughout the rest of tonight and even as we wake up tomorrow morning is that it's so dry at the surface. You've got those winds moving on through, which is certainly elevating our fire threat, and we certainly did see that tonight. Outside we go. We're looking live at downtown Los Angeles, mostly clear sky. Winds right now are calm for the basin, and because of that, we're cooling down to 60 degrees, the high earlier today, and at 78. Peak gusts, that was the major headline today. Fremont Canyon, 60 miles per hour. Malibu Creek, 59, 53 miles per hour there in Banning, Fontana, clocking in at 47. Still pretty gusty right now for areas in the IE. Riverside, 22. Orange County, Santa Ana, gusts coming in at 29 miles per hour. So the red flag warning will stay up for areas in LA and Ventura counties right through your Thursday. We've got low humidity and critical fire concern. We'll talk about what we can expect. I think the winds are gusty first thing tomorrow. After that, the winds will subside. It's sunny and warm over the weekend. A few clouds around on Friday, and over our Saturday and Sunday, temperatures in the 70s and 80s. We'll take a closer look. All coming up with your first alert forecast. Colleen, over to you.
All right, Melissa, we continue our team coverage right now with Darcia Phillips. She's live in San Fernando. It looks kind of quiet out there. Darcia, what's it like? What are you seeing out there tonight?
Yeah, Colleen, really calm right now. It has picked up about an hour ago. Right now it has died down, but as Melissa mentioned, we are going to see these winds start to pick up overnight. And when these Santa Ana winds blows, we do know what follows. That's concerns about wildfires. Another round of Santa Ana winds battering our region, raising wildfire concerns. A red flag warning will go into effect at 3 a.m. for the mountains and valleys of LA and Ventura counties. The high winds prompted Southern California Edison to alert its customers of a potential power shutoff to prevent its electrical systems from igniting a fire.
Any power outage is a serious hardship. That's why we don't take them lightly. It's why we don't turn off the power just based on the wind. We really take into account all the factors that we can measure.
70,000 customers have been alerted across 5 counties. Customers can access this map through SoCal Edison's website to see if they could be affected. Tonight in Fontana, winds are already gusting, whipping through trees and blowing debris around. A similar scene in Santa Ana, winds there really starting to pick up, but the strongest gusts across our region will be seen overnight and into the morning. SoCal Edison asking the public to tie down items that could blow away and hit a power line, potentially sparking a fire. And again, these winds expected to pick up overnight, lasting through tomorrow evening. That red flag warning starting at 3 a.m. and lasting until 6 p.m. tomorrow. Reporting live from San Fernando tonight, I'm Darcia Phillips, NBC4 News.
Next at 11, stealing from the dead. An investigator with the LA County Medical Examiner's Office charged by the DA. The items prosecutors say they found in his possession.